Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today for our Nimble training webinar. My name is Michaela Underdahl, and I'm Nimble's community manager. Today's session is being recorded, and everybody who registered will receive a follow-up email with the link to the recording. If you have any questions during today's session, please use the question box to let us know. I have a colleague in the background, Megan, and she'll be compiling all the questions for me into a shared document. And we will also share the document with everybody in the follow-up email. So if you have to run, can't stay until the end of the session, you can still ask a question and then keep it on your inbox for the shared document in which you'll find the answer to your question. And during the next about 45 minutes, I will take you on a tour through Nimble's deals feature. We will focus on creating deals, and I'll show you all the different places where you can create a new deal. We will also focus on creating multiple pipelines, setting up the stages of those pipelines, and we will also cover our reporting feature. But before we start, I know that we have a lot of people that are new to Nimble, so I would like to spend a minute or two talking about what Nimble is in general. Nimble is an easy-to-use customer relationship management tool that helps small to medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs to manage their business relationships better. It integrates with both Office 365 and Gmail, so it doesn't matter if you are using a combination of that for professional, personal reasons. You can connect both your Office 365, Outlooks, Gmails, G Suite accounts, or any IMAP accounts into Nimble. The only email that you are not able to connect to Nimble is POP, unfortunately. So it combines all your emails, all your contacts and calendars into one place, helps you to be more organized. We have basic CRM follow-up features that you can use to schedule to-dos for yourself or anybody on your team to make sure that everything is getting done and things are not falling through the cracks. On top of that, Nimble also has a segmentation feature that allows you to segment your database into targeted groups, as well as group messaging feature, which you can use to utilize these messages to segment groups and then get insights on the clicks and opens. Nimble also has deals and pipeline management features, which we will cover today. And I should also mention the price of Nimble. You can purchase Nimble for $19 per month per user if you pay annually, or if you decide to pay monthly, it will be $25 per month per user. So here we are inside of Nimble. We are on the deal step, which is the second to the last features on the main bar in Nimble. And as you can see, you can view your pipeline in the pipeline view, and you can also view it in the list. So this really depends on your preference, whatever makes more sense for you, what makes you to quickly look at it and see where all your sales opportunities are at. So the deals and reporting feature allows you to track your sales and other business opportunities, and we have multiple pipelines that you get to create. Many companies use spreadsheets to keep track of their deals with separate columns for the company name, buyer's name, price, and the day that the deals are expected to close. And as long as this works for you, this is completely fine. But since you are on today's webinar, maybe you are considering using a CRM to manage the sales opportunities in there. One of the main advantage of using a CRM to manage your sales opportunities is definitely the time that you save on the manual entry. So instead of typing everything in the columns into your spreadsheet, you can use Nimble to build many of these things for you. You can also when you're creating your pipelines, you can keep it very simple and maybe using just 5 stages, as you can see on my screen right now, and then use Nimble's custom activities for the other activities that you are using to move the individual opportunities through your funnel or your pipeline. So that's one way. Many of our customers actually go a little different route, and they like to specify the columns for each of the activities. So basically, each activity they take with the prospect, they create a column for. So they would have appointments scheduled, qualified to buy, presentation scheduled, contract sent, and then they might be in the stage called closing, and then they would move it into this stage where Nimble will ask you if, when you close the deal, if you win it or if you lost it. So this is really on the personal preference. And I would like to mention one more time that on October 17th, we'll have Liz Hyman doing a webinar with our CEO, John Ferrara, specifically focus on what the pipeline and individual stages should look like. So keep an eye on your inbox for the registration link, because this will really help you to listen to an expert who trains companies on what it should look like so everybody achieves their goals. And I think it will be really interesting. So I mentioned that you can create multiple pipelines. So when you first look into Nimble, you will land on the default pipeline. You will have the opportunity to go into customized pipelines and just hover over the default pipeline. I believe it's called opportunities by default. But when you click on it and click on this edit icon, you can rename it to anything that makes sense to you. You save it, and then you can go through the individual stages that we have them. You can rename them. You can set the number of days you want each day to be allowed to each deal to stay in each stage. So currently it's set to 30 days. I can easily change it to 10. And you can also drag and drop. If you want to create new pipeline, you would click on back to pipelines here and edit a new pipeline. It's very easy. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you have to start from scratch. So you would just be adding the individual stages here and telling Nimble how many days you want each deal to be allowed to stay in the stage. You can also add the range here. Go back to pipelines here. And as you can see, it's really easy to create a deal. You just click this button, new deal, enter the name of the deal. It can be the company. You can select the primary contact. One thing to mention here is that the primary contact always has to be an already existing contact in your Nimble database. You can add multiple participants. You can also choose the probability, how confident you are that you will be able to win the deal, and same with the amount. You can also select the expected close date, assign it to yourself or any other salespeople on your team, and you also get to choose the privacy. So you can choose the deal to be private or public with the rights to view and edit, and public with the rights to view only. And by public, we of course mean that just people on your team will be able to see it. The owner or the administrator of your Nimble account will be able to see all the deals and also will be able to edit all of them. In addition to all this information, you can also select on which pipeline you want this deal to go to. So I will select the one that we just created, and you can also select the appropriate stage for the deal. You can add any comments here, click save. The deal would get created. You will land on this page where you will see all the information that you put in. You'll be always able to edit it, add more information on there. You can also immediately mark it as a win or a loss. You can also delete it. And here you will see the history of the interaction you've had with anybody that was added to the deal as a participant. You can filter by just messages, just email, or just Twitter messages if you're utilizing social selling in your sales process and using Twitter to prospect and cultivate your relationships there. Under activities, you will see all the activities associated with the deal. So those could be tasks, and tasks are like to-dos that you can schedule for yourself or anybody else on your team. And those could be, so when I was talking about that some companies like to keep their funnel or their pipeline very simple and have only few columns or stages, and then they use activities to move it to the next stage. These are some of the activities that that you can be using. So could be a task like a to-do, send proposal. Events will be all calendar events that are relevant to this deal. So if any of the people, the participants that you added to the deal, if you have a meeting with them scheduled on your calendar, all the events will show up here. And you can also specify that you want to, that you have scheduled a call. So all the calls will be here. So events, that's anything on your calendar, but you might be connecting via Zoom or GoToMeeting or any other platform. But if it's a phone call and you want to specify that, you could also create it here. And adding activities in Nimble is very easy. This is where you select if it's a task or the event or call. And I also mentioned that the companies that like to keep their funnel very simple might be using custom activities in Nimble. This is where you could select from the custom activities. And in a little bit, I'll show you how you can define these in settings. So those can really be anything. You can use it for sending or reviewing proposals, anything that fits your use case. And when creating task events or calls, you name the activity, you can add a description. If it was in the past, you can use this feature to mark it as complete. You can select the due date and assign it to yourself or anybody else on your team. You can also organize your deals by tags, and then you will be able to pull up a specific tag and go through all the deals that you created this deal for, tag for, excuse me. So now I would like to show you all the different places where you can create a deal. We covered how you can create it straight from the pipeline. You can also use the button here when you're inside of an existing deal and reviewing all the information on there, so that pop-up will look exactly the same. We just went over it. And before we leave this window, I quickly want to touch on what you see here on the right side. As you saw, I added a participant to this deal. That was Megan on my team, and Nimble automatically added a preview of the person here. So when you're reviewing the deal and there's something, maybe the deal has exceeded the allowed number of days that you set it to be in each stage, so you would want to give the person a call. So this is why it's really useful to have the context records right on the right side. You see this email for the person. If I had a phone number for her, I would see it here as well. And I can easily just send her a message from Nimble here. One thing I would like to mention is that Nimble offers email tracking. And if you are an Office 365 user, this will be very helpful for you, because you could, every time you send an email from within Nimble via your Outlook that you have previously connected to Nimble, the email will be tracked. So then we will send you notifications on the clicks and opens. You can allow mobile app notifications, desktop notifications, which can really help you to use the information that somebody is right now reviewing the email that you send them in regards to the deal, and maybe give them a call and get them at the right moment when they're focused on whatever you send them. They're reviewing it, thinking about it, and you can get them on the phone and answer any questions they might have. If you don't want to track it, just don't click this box. If you would like to send it as a tracked message, you would just make sure that this message, this box is checked. This is where you would fill out the subject line and just hit send. It's very easy. You can also create tasks and events from here, create new deal. So this is another way that you could use to create new deals. And you could also easily edit the contact record by clicking on the three dots here. If you are using a Salesforce, in addition to maybe Nimble, or if you're using Nimble for personal use, but you are using Salesforce for your company, we also have an integration that allows you to export the contact into Salesforce. And let me go on to Today page right now. We offer these widgets that are supposed to help you every time you log into Nimble to let you know what is it exactly that you need to get done. So everything that's on your calendar or your appointments or your tasks, and this is where you would see the results of the messages that you tracked with Nimble. And on the bottom, you can see all our sales or pipeline deal related widgets. So in here, you see a preview into my funnel. You see how much money I have in each stage. In the pipeline chart, you would be able to see the pipeline chart. You can select the period that you want to track. You can also select if you want the complete total or if you want to focus on the weighted pipeline. And of course, you can toggle between all your deals from your team, only your deals, or individual pipelines. And same with the stage funnel. You can review it for each product that you're selling and quickly get an idea of what needs to be done. And this is where you'll see, in this widget, this is where you'll see the individual deals. And again, you can look at the active ones that are all your your personal deals, excuse me, those that have been won, those that you lost, the deals that are active that entire team is working on, all the deals that your team won, and also you can see the lost ones. And this is, we also have the create deal button here. So this is another place that you can use to create a new deal in Nimble. And again, the pop-up is the same. If you're using our mobile apps, and even if you're not, please download them. We have them both on Android and iPhone. They're very easy to use. And you can also preview your pipelines there and create new deals, assign tasks, to-dos to yourself, anybody on your team. And I always like to mention this feature because it's my favorite. We have a business card scanner. So if you're just running from a meeting and you get a business card from somebody, you can pull up the business card scanner, quickly take a picture of it, and Nimble will automatically create a contact record for the person, and then you will be able to set up the next step, maybe a deal or set up an appointment, send them track message from there. It's really easy to use. Another place where you can schedule deals is on the contact record. So our contact record looks like this. We recently launched this new UI, so hopefully you like it as much as we do. You can see all the basic information about the person, and you can also see their contact information. This is where you can add any notes. And I just want to mention that anything that you add on the contact record, like deals or notes, those will be visible across the entire team unless you mark the deals as private. But notes, those will be visible to everybody on the team. So that's just something to keep in mind. Those can be really useful if it's an information that could be beneficial to another person that's maybe working on the same opportunity. Any information that can help them to maybe contact the customer on the platform that they like the most. Maybe the person doesn't want to be called. Maybe they want you to send them text message. So that's that's a piece of information you could use and add as a note. Login past activities can be done here. So as you see, it is automatically checked as complete. So this one is meant for past activities, and all future activities you can set up under the schedule button. Again, tasks, events, calls, all the custom activities. And you can finally create a new deal from here. I also want to mention that we have browser extensions and email add-ins for all the main browsers and email providers. So if you are using G Suite, you can just go on nimble.com/widget, and Megan, please send the link to the question box so everybody can click on it and download it if they're not using it yet. The landing page will already know what browser you are using, and it will help you download the extension from the appropriate store. So if you're using Chrome and you're using G Suite or Gmail, it's enough to just download the extension once, and it will allow you to use the extension anywhere on the web. So for instance, on LinkedIn, you will just be able to bring it up like this and create and update contact records from anywhere you are. So here I am on my LinkedIn, and I came across Laura, and Laura is definitely somebody I would like to add to my database. I can quickly just click on Add to Nimble button. I could apply a tag on her, new contact from LinkedIn. I save it, and I could click on this plus sign button and create a deal straight from here, straight from LinkedIn. And this extension works the same way anywhere you are. So you can use it on a company website. If you're learning more about a specific company you would like to reach out to, you can go on their site and create a company record. We can test it out on our side. I can just land on our main side here, click the extension. Nimble will know that I'm on our company side once it wakes up. Maybe my internet connection is really a little slow right now. Well, let's try again. Okay, here we are. So as you can see, I haven't done anything but landed on a company side. So imagine how much time Nimble can help you when you're creating records. Instead of you having to type all this information into a spreadsheet, you can just click Add to Nimble right now, and you have a contact record created. We will also, in the background, will be looking for any social platforms that the company or the individual are active on, and we'll be attaching them to the contact record, enriching the contact record, and you can use our segmentation feature to search on all the fields that you created in Nimble, as well as all the information that we added on there. And again, you could create a deal from here. So this is what it looks like when you're using Chrome. We have the extension for all our main browsers. So it's Chrome. It's available on Chrome, Safari, Microsoft Edge, and Firefox as well. If you're a Gmail user, the extension will automatically plug in for you here. And every time you open an email, it will be sitting on the right side here. And if somebody emails you who's not yet in your Nimble database, you'll be able to quickly add to Nimble and create a contact record for them. And again, use the plus sign button to create a deal, add a note, set up a phone call with them, create another event on your calendar, or create a task, which is a to-do, and you can assign it either to yourself or any of your team members. If you are an Office 365 user and you're using Outlook, you would go on the same site, nimble.com/widget, and install the Outlook app. And when you're opening an email, you would just select our logo here, and Nimble will help you either, if the contact record is already in your database, Nimble will show you the existing record, which then you'll be able to edit. If you don't have the person in the database yet, you will be able to quickly add them and also quickly create deals. So these are all the places that you can create deals from. So the idea is to help you do what you need to do. We're already used to doing that. So instead of you dealing with a customer on email or LinkedIn or having them on the phone call and then having to open a new tab, log into your CRM and type or your spreadsheet and type everything in, we develop these extensions to make it easier for you and save you time on data entry. I also mentioned that you can create the custom activities, and I just want to show you where you can do it in settings. Every time you want to review your settings or make sure that all the emails that you have previously connected to Nimble are still connected, you click on the circle in the top right corner here. For connecting your emails, calendars, and importing contacts, you would go to networks and imports. For anything else, you'll go to settings, and you would be choosing from the menu on the left side. So for activities, you click on the very last option called activities. And this is where you would be able to set up the custom activities, and they can be anything. It's really dependent on what is it that your sales funnel looks like, what are the individual stages that the opportunities go through, and what are the activities that you do. Is it a social media touch? Is it a phone call? Or is it an in-person meeting? Maybe you like to have lunches with your prospects. So that could be a custom activity then you could later use to set in your CRM. So when you're reviewing the contact record, not only you know what exactly has been done with the person, but also anybody else on your team and all the managers. So you just type the name of the activity in here. You can also set an icon here. And we also have a stay in touch reminder feature in Nimble, which can help you to make sure that you are follow up with important contacts that you have in your database. And you can, when setting up the custom activities, you can choose if when you create and set the activity on the contact record, if you wanted to reset the clock. I'll show you quickly what it looks like. So when you're on the contact record, you have the option to mark the contact as important, and this is the clock where you can set the stay in touch feature. So it can be weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, or you can also set a custom period. Stay in touch maybe every 19 days. You set it, and if you use the custom activity, maybe it was a press briefing, and you set it up so every press briefing will update and reset the clock. It will do that, and it will continue to look green. If you don't choose that, and if you haven't touched the person in the last 19 days, as you said previously that they would, it would turn red, and it would kind of like annoy you until you contact the person. So let's quickly go back to deals here. I also want to mention that you have the ability to export your deals and pipelines into a CSV file. So if you want to send it to your leadership, want to present from it in the meeting, or just want to keep it on the computer, maybe you're traveling and you want to have a reliable internet, so that can all be exported into a CSV. One thing that I didn't mention was that you can easily just drag and drop. So when you're moving this deals through the individual stages, you can either drag them like this, or you can click on them and select from the drop down and move them to the next stage. And let's move on to reporting in Nimble. You can view what's going on in your in your pipeline on this dashboard. You can select to view all your pipelines, all individual ones. You can view the dashboard for the entire team or the individual salespeople. You can also select this week, last week, or you can do a custom date range. You can also print it out. This is where you can see the forecasted deals. And again, you can choose between weighted and the total. You can see the complete revenue or just see the individual deals. And this is where you can preview the deals history. Again, you can choose the range that you're interested in tracking, view all the pipelines or the individual ones by entire team or individual salespeople. And I think we have about 10 minutes. So I would actually like to mention our future webinars and then use the rest of the time to answer any questions then you might have. So the next training webinar will be on September 4th. I will be doing an entire overview of Nimble, so I will not be focusing on specific feature like I did today, but I will go through the entire application and go through individual features, and then of course at the end I'll be answering any questions you might have in regards to Nimble. On September 11th, I'll be focusing on how to prospect better and smarter with Nimble. We'll be focusing on using the extensions at different places on the web, and I'll be sharing some tips and strategies or how you can use Nimble to find new prospective customers. On September 18th, I'll be doing the general overview again. So these webinars will be hosted by every week, but I will be alternating. One week I'll be doing the general overview, the following week I'll be doing specific feature, and then again the general overview. So on September 25th, I'll be focusing on how to use Nimble as a team, how to set it up, how to set permissions, and how to make sure that everybody on the team knows exactly what needs to be done, what's falling through the cracks, and how to figure out what's the next step to do to fix it. And October 17th, this is a webinar that our CEO, John Ferrara, will be hosting with Liz Hyman, and it will be called How to Use Your Funnel to Grow Your Business. And Liz will be going through how to set up your sales pipeline and how to make sure that you are reaching your sales goals and making all the money that you would like to. We are also running a special offer for new users today. So if you're in trial and Nimble sounds like something that you would like to take deeper, closer look at, please go to nimble.com/offer/webinar30 and sign up for a trial. And during the 30 days, you will have access to all our features. You will be also able to add everybody on your team, so you'll be really able to see if Nimble is the right CRM for you. And every time, at any point you have any questions about using Nimble, you can always reach us at care@nimble.com. And we also host daily training webinars at 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll also be sharing a link with you in the questions. So during this time, one of our customer success representatives will be on, and they'll be able to share their screen and answer any questions you might have. Again, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you'll have a great day. Bye.